Yo, what is up, my beautiful people? Today it is time to rank every Blackwing deck out there because we got a couple additional new Blackwing decks that I want to talk about, and then I will put them all in the rank template and let you guys know which one is, in my opinion, the best one for this current format. Okay, because depending on the format, like every time it switches, right? So there was a format where completely the Bystial Blackwing was completely dominating. Then there was a format where the Horus Blackwing was completely dominating, and now it switches and switches and switches. And I want to give you guys my thoughts, my opinion on every single Blackwing deck that we currently have, and then also, yeah, let you know which I believe is the best one. All right. All right. Let's start off. Let's start off with the most easiest one. You guys probably forgot about this one, but there was a time where I used to play in Master Duel, especially Master. Like this, by the way, you can. This is mainly made for TCG. This list, on OCG, but you can also switch it and like, yeah, you could say, because there are some cards that are not available right now yet for Master, which is why you can't really put this for Master, but you could if you want to. But whatever. All right, so indestructible full armor monster was a big thing in the past, but unfortunately, even though it's really it's basically similar as the Crook Cook. You guys remember the Crook Cook? You runic lost to play that card, a Crook Cook, and then try to make your opponent get like deck out, whatever. Like it's really similar. Difference is that it's way cooler and stronger than the Crook Cook, and yeah. But the issue is one goddess, one kaiju, and it's all messed up. In addition, it plays really bad into Nibiru, like hand traps in general is like really bad, and then eventually once you get hand trapped a lot, you're always relying on just a pure engine, so it's just a pure board, pure synchro board, and then it just, yeah. Unfortunately, it is really cool gimmick, but it's not really competitive. Next up, let's talk about the pure Blackwing deck. The pure Blackwing deck is probably the one that I would suggest a lot of people to begin with, so that they actually learn the way of Blackwings and like try to understand Blackwings more. And it is also really fun because you're mainly just focused on just a pure Blackwing board, and just like you're actually enjoying the game, and the end board is pretty strong. Like you got a couple of different boards that you can end up with. You can put up an Omni Gate with the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Beast. You can set up a really cool trap, Twin Shadow, and then you can have your double or triple Assault Dragons. Like the board itself is really cool, right? But it is kind of consistent, but doesn't really have a lot of one card combos, which is my biggest issue with this deck. And also in general, like not every 2-card combo is securing a win on that turn, so it's not as consistent as the other decks that you are going to see in a minute, but it's pretty cool, fun. I would suggest it for people to begin with. It's pretty strong. Like the board itself is almost unbreakable. Some of friends even said like it's an FTK, even though it's not. But yeah, unfortunately, however, like if we have to rank it with all the other decks, it is slightly weaker than the other ones, which is why I put it at C. But that does not mean that it's completely not competitive or anything. By that means, nah, it is competitive, but the other decks are just so much better. Okay, next up, let's talk about the Centurion Blackwing version that I just created a couple of months ago. Patrons actually have this already months ago, but YouTube only knows about this for the past, I don't know, 1 month or something. But yeah, Blackwing Centurion is something that I'm still working on. It is not a finished project yet. It is really fun. It has so many different lines. It also has a lot of 1 and 2 card combos that usually wouldn't give you shit, but now it actually gives you like a guaranteed win. So the deck is more consistent than almost any other deck. There's one deck that is actually that might be more consistent. But it eats hand traps a lot. Nibiru could be a problem, but doesn't really have to be. But it could be, but doesn't really have to be. And then ball breakers could also be a thing, but like in general, like the deck is pretty cool. Okay, that's all I'm trying to say. It is pretty competitive. It is really strong, and the potential of this deck hasn't really been set yet. So we haven't really seen the final form of this deck yet. Okay, so without even having playing that deck yet in any regionals or locals or whatsoever, I would just blindly put it on A because of the stupid amount of consistency that you have with this deck, right? Because it is really cool, and then you can set up King Calamity and all that. By the way, if you're wondering why I'm not considering the old King Calamity build that we had with the pure Blackwing cards, whatever, it's because this one literally replaced it. If you want to play King Calamity by any means, like you'd be like, fuck it, I just want to summon King Calamity and nothing else, you should be playing Blackwing Centurion, because obviously every Centurion monster is a 1-card combo, right? But now in addition, you got Zudri as another 1-card combo. You have Simoon obviously being a 1-card combo, and so many more 2-card combos that I'm also going to show you case you guys here on YouTube soon. So stay tuned for that. So many different ways, which is why this deck is pretty consistent, and I like it. And yeah, next up, we have the Horus Blackwing deck. So that was a deck that I played in the past format, and I really enjoyed it. I really did. It's stupid consistent. For that time, it was like probably the most consistent deck that I had. But then new cards came to the game, and the format changed and everything. But yeah, I rarely brick with this deck. Even if I only brick with, like, say only MZD, whatever, I was still able to go on a big board thanks to the zombie vampire, and the grind game follow up, whatever, was also good thanks to the Horus cards. That also helped me a lot. Also getting rid of like untargetable monsters with the sarcophagus was also really cool. So yeah, but the question is, where do I put this deck? This is my only concern right now. Because the thing is, like, this deck got a big hit with Baron being gone. Without Baron, this deck is just not as strong as it used to be. Because the cool thing about this deck was being able to summon Baron before you even normally summon and stuff like that, right? That was just huge. But now with Baron being banned in TCG, obviously Master Baron is still available, so Master, I still love to play with this deck. But in TCG, Baron is just a big of a hit that's took a lot, and in that case I would have to put it to B. And yeah, it's just Baron. Next up we have the Bystial deck, the Bystial Blackwing deck. The crazy thing is, the Bystials are not only wall breakers, hand traps, but they're also really cool consistency extenders for Blackwings. Especially like if starting off with Rebellion and they regain all that, like that's just crazy. Even like one Shamal and one Bystial gives you already Baron Dispada. Obviously in TCG not anymore Baron. That's also the issue with this deck. Baron getting hit was also big for Bystials, for the Bystial deck. But it is still pretty strong. My man D-Lo still proved everybody that. He made, I mean, with Baron, he made the second place at a regional, and then without Baron, I think he made top 8. I think it was top 8 without Baron. So the deck is still pretty good. I wanted to put it next to the Horus Blackwing deck, but it's really situational, because if you're playing against a deck where Bystials actually come in clutch, for example, if you're playing against pure Snake Eyes, right? Or if you're playing against Branded or any other deck, sometimes the Bystials alone carry a lot. Like, that's crazy, right? So it's hard to tell, man. Really hard to tell. The Baron hit just hurt a lot. That's my biggest issue. And oh man, kind of want to put it next to B, but then just for the fact that D-Lo had so many tops of this deck, I can't put it next to B because it has more tops than the Horus Blackwing deck. I think I did, yeah, I did have a lot of top 16s, but I don't think I've ever had like a top 4 or top 8 with Horus Blackwing deck, which is why, yeah, I have to put it up here. And yeah, alright, let's move on to the final Blackwing deck. We got the King Caligula. You might be thinking, oh, this is the last spot, so it has to be there. But let's talk about this real quick. Now, we're not talking about the old Caligula build that we used to play in the past, right? I took this deck, completely tore it apart, and revolutionized it, renew it, like anything. Yeah, like I literally started to do like a completely new way on summoning Caligula, which is not only great through D-Barrier. So basically this deck right here is the best deck that plays around D-Barrier. Like literally, in the past we couldn't even think about this being the best deck to play around Nibiru, but D-Barrier, but it is like this best deck to play around D-Barrier, against Shifter, against also against Nibiru, okay, because this deck plays like, you got now, once you have Simoon and another extender which is like Vada, whatever, like it plays better than any other deck around Nibiru, okay, and that's also a fact. The deck should not lose to Nibiru. And now we have 18 new ways to summon Caligula. I'm talking about 1-card combos. I'm talking about 2-card combos that used to be nothing. Like literally 2-card combos that in the past wouldn't just be like simple SP Little Knight pass. Now gives you Caligula. And for that fact alone, this deck, in my opinion, is the best deck right now because it's just so stupid consistent. It's your only Blackwing deck that does not lose to D-Barrier. It plays well through Shifter. And it's just stupid. Like, it is really stupid. I actually, bro, check this out. I won one OTS tournament with this deck 2 weeks ago. And last week, I made the second place. The second place at this OTS tournament. So that's always speaking for itself. And I never had a local where I didn't go at, like the best. The worst record I had at a local was always like 3 wins, 1 loss. The worst one, right? And then I had one regional where I went. Yeah, I had a top 16 regional with this deck already. And yeah, like the deck is crazy. Also, this is the best deck to play against Tempai Dragon. Okay, Tempai Dragon is a pain in the ass for itself, and this is the best way to play around Tempai Dragon. To play around back row decks like Labyrinth, Runic, whatever, and any like all those else anymore. Yeah, all those other decks. Like the deck is crazy. That's all I'm trying to say. Which is why I have to put this right now at the first place, even though I don't even like Caligula, bro. That's the crazy thing. Probably from all the people out there, I actually hate Caligula the most. Okay, but if it's the best deck, what am I supposed to do? You gotta play it right, because we're aiming for the stars here. But if you're looking like for a fun deck, it always sets up different boards, whatever, then I would probably tell you guys to play this new Centurion Blackwing deck. But if you want to win shit, like if you want to be competitive, then you gotta go with the King Caligula build. Just that simple. That's all I gotta say. And yeah, the key reason why I believe this is the best deck is literally because of all the new 1-card combos that we have. Vatans now being a 1-card combo that gives us a turn skip. Sudri. So many 2-card combos, like the deck is so crazy. And it doesn't lose to hand traps. Like you should not be losing to hand traps. I can't remember the last time I lost to a 1 hand trap. Like it always took my opponent at least 2 to 4 hand traps to stop me. All I gotta say. And that's how I'm going to wrap up this video. So yeah, for this current format, King Caligula is the way to go with. You may not like to hear it, but that's just the truth, man. That's just the truth. So yeah, that's it. I'm going to a regional, in 3 days with this deck, and let's see how it will perform. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I love you all. Take care and good night.